I want you to picture a phone in your pocket, and on this phone, you would be texting a person, and you don't really remember when you first started texting this person, but you just know that you do it almost every single day. And some days you're just asking questions, some days you're thanking him, some days you're begging for something, and some days you're just genuinely talking. It varies, but I just want you to imagine this. And then one day, without you ever deciding to, you just stop texting this person. No warning message, no final text. It just trails off and you don't really realize. But I think you can get where I'm going with this. Now, this is a story about losing a person, whether as losing an entire religion. Because when I was a kid, I was a Christian, but I was never really fully doctrined, I guess you could say. I didn't thoroughly read my Bible. I didn't go to church every Sunday. I wasn't baptized. I only went to church with my grandma as a kid, and that's really much it. But I definitely had this faith towards something, this person that I would talk to and that I would tell myself was God. And now this is going to be a little different of a deconversion kind of talk, because it's not the typical, hey, I read the Bible and I found these contradictions, or hey, I thought of these arguments and now I no longer believe. It's a little bit different, and I don't know. Let's get into it. So as I said, I wasn't a devout Christian. If you would have asked me, the order of Genesis or like the first four Gospels, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But I would be able to confidently tell you I had a relationship with God, and this was someone who I talked to and asked questions. And throughout the day, I'd be like, God, why is this happening right now? Or like, God, I feel like I don't deserve this. I've been doing X, Y, and Z. I don't know why this is happening to me. And just really someone that I would rely on, because I built up this character for him to be there for me whenever I don't really know what to do in certain situations. And this was a person in my head who would just listen to me and would have opinions, and when good things would happen, I'd make the connection that it was because of him, and when bad things would happen, I would make the connection that, okay, this is a lesson, I need to be taught something, this is happening for a reason. So I really did believe in God for a long period of my life. And I feel like maybe a lot of people can relate to this, because I think the average believer, when you would press them on certain things about maybe the Bible or God, they wouldn't be able to answer or give a proper answer, but they would still, at the end of the day, no matter what you told them, they would believe that they would be talking to somebody. They would believe that when they prayed, God is there. And I think this is the thing that sticks with a lot of people when we talk about faith and religion. It's this person in your head that you think you're having a external connection with, but it's really just internal, and it's just a connection with yourself. And when I got to the point where I realized I no longer had these conversations, or like I never relied on this person as much, I could never pick out a specific scene or something that led me to be here. I couldn't give you a good scene to make a good story, because there really isn't one. It's like maybe like a sink dripping water, and over time it starts dripping less and less, and then it stops, but you don't realize it stopped by then, because you've barely had any water come out, I guess. And I think it was kind of around the time when I was in high school and I started taking classes about biology and chemistry and history, and just learning about the history of the earth and how it was brought about, and how human civilizations were, and the forming of life, and just really things that made me question the person that I was talking to. Because as I said, I wasn't a devout Christian, but I knew that, hey, Adam and Eve, we all came from them, God, 7 days, that kind of thing. So I think what God functions as for a lot of people is just this permanent intellectual, whatever, I think you get what I'm trying to say, in your head. No one goes throughout the day saying, hey, I concluded that from the cosmological argument that a necessary being exists. No one just thinks these things. They can, but it's not the average reason. A person will just believe in God because they probably see complexity in the universe, and they were told there is a designer behind it all, and that they have a purpose, and there's a place for them when they die if they do X, Y, and Z. So I think a lot of people can maybe relate to what I'm saying. And I feel like maybe the average theist right now might be saying, okay, Ben, that's a cool psychological story. You haven't actually made an argument for why God doesn't exist, or proving that God doesn't exist. But that's not really my goal right now. I am not going to sit here and tell you the fact that my prayer life and my talking life with God faded means God does not exist. What I'm trying to do is maybe give a relational kind of thing that maybe somebody can understand and connect with, and realize that this voice that's in their head, this God that they're talking to, this connection that they feel, is really just yourself trying to give yourself comfort, because it's realized the best way to cope given your situation is to have this thing in your mind. But I also don't want to invalidate anybody who goes through these things, because I was once there. I'm not trying to mock it or downplay it or anything. I'm trying to just maybe meet you in the middle right now and tell you my experience with it and what led me to realize what it truly is. And that's it. This isn't an argument for you to lose your faith. It's just maybe just a cool psychological story, as the theist said, that I made up. So I'm not gonna say I've defeated God, but I think I will say I no longer need him in my phone. I don't need that connection anymore, because I've realized what it is. And I still find it very interesting, and that's why I like talking about these things. But yeah, and again, I'm not trying to disprove God with this. So I guess what I want to leave with you guys is that when we talk about believing in God, a lot of the time, I don't think arguments are going to be the one that convinces people. Obviously, arguments convince people all the time. People use arguments in online debates to portray their side in their worldview. But when we really think about it, if someone who believes in God were to watch a debate, right, against, let's say, a very sophisticated atheist, and the atheist does a pretty good job in the debate, and let's say the consensus is that the atheist won, would the believer truly be like, okay, I'm no longer believing in God, I don't have faith anymore? I would say no, because I don't think arguments is what is doing the work when we talk about faith in God. I think a lot of it is just this personal connection that you have with God, and that he's someone that you don't want to lose, because you don't really know what you would do without it. And I don't think an argument can really dictate that. So I guess I just want to say, when we talk about believing in God, I think we should fixate more on maybe why someone specifically has a belief. Not just give me an argument, tell me why you think God exists. Tell me why you specifically think God exists. What brought you to believing in God? What's kept your faith strong? What do you do to keep your faith strong? Things like that, because I think then you could probably pinpoint and understand where the true weight is of someone's belief. But I mean, that's all I gotta say. That's the story of my belief and my journey with God, and then my journey without God now. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like or comment any of your thoughts, and that's it.